Hello, beautiful people. How are you this morning? Today, I want to talk about one of the most common things. It's become fashionable to fear, to talk about, to discuss, and that is the Mercury retrograde. We're all familiar with this phrase, Mercury retrograde, and its associations with communications, miscommunication rather, mishaps, tech glitches, cancelled travel plans, and general chaos. This astrological phenomena has earned a bad reputation. But what exactly is Mercury retrograde? And how can we make the most of it? So let's try to understand it. In astrology, Mercury is associated with communication, technology, travel, and intellectual processes. Everything to do with thinking, speaking, and of course, this being the information age, everything to do with online communication, with telephonic communication, with travel, etc. All is associated with Mercury. And when Mercury is in retrograde, chaos happens. What is retrograde? Retrograde is when a planet appears to be moving backward. No planet moves backward. That's a myth. It appears to be moving backward when observed from Earth. It's an optical illusion caused by the relative position of the planet and Earth. In this case, Mercury and Earth, while they are orbiting around the Sun. Astrologers interpret this phenomena as the time when the influence of Mercury is reversed, leading to disruption in areas that Mercury rules. Now, Mercury retrograde happens 3 to 4 times in a year, lasting approximately about 3 weeks each time. What can we expect during Mercury retrograde? Communication, or rather miscommunication, is the first thing. Misunderstandings, arguments, delayed response, emails getting lost in the ether. So normally it is common advice given to everybody to check, double check emails, texts, other messages. Technology glitches. That is number 2. Expect computer crashes, phone issues, software malfunctions, backup, check, double check all your data. And travel, cancelled flights, lost luggage, general travel delays. So if you're traveling during the Mercury retrograde, always have a plan B and a plan C. And then there is this thing about decision making. The retrograde period can cloud judgment. So if you are signing agreements, contracts, finalizing plans, or making major life choices, it would be advisable to wait it out or, of course, check and double check. So I would say that Mercury retrograde is not the time for doom and gloom. There are challenges, but it's not what you would call an astrological curse. It's a period to slow down, to reflect, to check, to double check, and revisit aspects of your life that may need more attention. So, how do you deal with Mercury retrograde? Do not fear it to begin with. Reflect, reassess. Retrogrades are always the planet telling you to look inward, to slow down, to connect with your inner self. Any planet. If it is Mars, then the action is happening inside you, not outside. If it is Jupiter, you are expanding your boundaries, not in the external world, but inside you. And when you are in a Mercury retrograde, it is the ideal time to introspect, to revisit old projects, to review past decisions, and to refine your plans. Second thing is to slow down, cultivate patience, avoid rushing through tasks. You have to ensure accuracy and you have to ensure that your plans are actually working during Mercury retrograde. So, checking them, revising them, double checking them is very, very essential because during Mercury retrograde, there are communication breakdowns. There are hiccups in technology. Third point I would say is to stay flexible. Flexibility is the key during this time. The Mercury brings a lot of unpredictable energy during Mercury retrograde. So be prepared to adapt, to go with the flow. If plans need to be adjusted, adjust them. Projects hit a snag, improvise. Remember, flexibility breeds resilience. So it'll help you to bounce back from setback. Reconnect. This is one uh, aspect of Mercury retrograde which I find very fascinating. This is the time when people you have lost contact with resurface. It's also the time when your exes suddenly start contacting you. So use this time to strengthen relationships you want to keep or seek closure when you want to discard relationships. The relationships can be re-evaluated during Mercury retrograde. It is the ideal time to reassess your friendships, your romantic connections, and also to enhance your relationship dynamics. Mercury retrograde is all about patience. So practice mindfulness. Mercury retrograde brings a lot of stress with it, a lot of anxiety, uncertainty. So stay grounded, stay in the present moment, focus on what you can control and what you can't control, release it. I find Mercury retrograde is very, very much easier if you practice breathing exercises. I will link my one of my breathwork videos with this video, and you can go through it. And always have a backup. Always plan ahead. Backup important files. And keep copies of documents you think you need all the time. And while traveling, reach the airport or the railway station early. Have extra time. Have extra resources all the time. And most importantly, maintain a sense of humor. Sometimes that is the best thing you can do to navigate Mercury retrograde. Instead of dwelling on mishaps, miscommunication, freaking down or having a meltdown, just laugh at them. Find a silver lining to each situation. Take a light-hearted attitude. Remember, life is unpredictable. There are always changes. There are always disasters waiting for you. And there is the universe has a weird sense of humor. It's testing you. So be lighthearted about it. Now, what are the common misconceptions about Mercury retrograde? I know a person who actually communicado during this time. Literally hides in her house. She doesn't go out, she avoids making decisions. That is definitely not the way to deal with Mercury retrograde. It is the time to reconnect with old companions, old memories. It is also the time for creative inspiration. Your creativity flows very freely in Mercury retrograde, provided you can find the flow. Embrace the cosmic energy, find the flow, channel it into creative pursuits. It's a temporary cosmic event. So go with the flow and emerge stronger and self aware on the other side of the Mercury retrograde. One of the most common questions I'm asked during Mercury retrograde is, what should I avoid during Mercury retrograde? I would just postpone signing big contracts, avoid making major decisions, and don't make major purchases. Be cautious with communication with technology and always reach an airport or a railway station about an hour early. Another thing is, can Mercury retrograde affect my sleep? Yes. Your brain is on overdrive during Mercury retrograde and it can disrupt sleep patterns. So, meditation before you go to sleep, or breathing exercises, or a mild exercise like a walk around the block, a very gentle walk, are very, very good practices to have during Mercury retrograde. In 2025, Mercury retrograde comes three times: March 15th to April 7th, July 18th to August 11th, and November 25th to December 15th. During these times, it's advisable to exercise caution in communication, double check your travel plans, and avoid making significant commitments and decisions. Instead, focus on reassessing relationships, completing unfinished business, and reviving your creative pursuits. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, press the bell icon, share it with other people. Thank you for joining me. As always, I'm Ritu Lalit, healer astrologer, and welcome to my channel. Namaste.